Hey everybody, my name is Jen, the Caffeinated Crafter. Today is Saturday. You're gonna see this on Sunday, but today is Saturday, August the 30th, 2025. I'm not gonna post this until Sunday the 31st. It's late on Saturday night, but I do have to work from 11 to 7 tomorrow, and I'm not going to be able to film, edit, and upload before I go to work on Sunday. So I figured I'm going to film it tonight. And if I can't get it fully edited, I mean, I don't do much with editing, just adding pictures and stuff. So I probably do all that, but I'll be able to at least get it uploaded before I leave for work tomorrow. I got Mr. Whiskers. Hey, baby. Hey, Mr. Whiskers. Hello, my boy. Got Mr. Whiskers. He was sitting in the chair and I made him get up so I could film. There's the bubbles. Oh. All right. I'm gonna get down. There you go. Okay. So we have a lot to go over. I got another new start. I got a finish. Yay! Another finish. Worked on a lot of stuff. I was not able to work on two things that I wanted to work on. But that's okay. That's okay. Great, now I got cat hair everywhere. Okay, so we're just gonna go ahead and get right into the stitching. That's what I did. I got all my Monopoly stitching done. I wasn't able to work on catching rays for the marathon stitching. A lot of shadows because of the way I have my lights right now. With my son's football games on Friday nights, I essentially lose a day of stitching because I work all day. I leave work, I go home, I shower, I change, and then I'm going to a football game. And then their away games are like an hour away usually, so I don't get home until like 10 o'clock. By then I'm too tired to do anything. So I'm essentially losing a day of stitching with football season, but that's okay. Cause if I had the full day, I could have worked on that. Or if I had a day time that I could work, I could have worked on that. Anyway, but yeah, so I have one more new start that I want to get done, but we'll talk about that with plans. Let me go ahead and get into my stitching. We'll do what am I going to do first? Let's go ahead and do the Monopoly stitching. So new round of Monopoly today. Yay! First up for Monopoly stitching is going to be, I think I'll have my current plans video linked down below. Explaining everything that I'm doing so I don't have to go into great detail about it. But yeah, so I'll have that link down below if you're interested. So first up for Monopoly stitching, this is Mother Nature Christmas. This was from Just Cross Stitch magazine. I think it was from 2023. I believe it was from 2023. And I am stitching this with the Call for DMC 2/2 full cross on a 28 count tea-dyed Monaco. And for Monopoly, I needed I need to move this. For Monopoly, I needed 200 stitches. And this is where I got to with it. You know what? Hang on one second. I'm gonna move this light. That's better. Okay. So I got 200 stitches on it, all down here in her dress. I really like how she's turning out. She's very pretty. So. Okay. I was just looking at that and I was like, God, that's really close to her sleeve. But I'm looking at the cover photo and it's fine. It's fine. It's like, did I screw something up? No, I didn't. Okay. So there's that one. Next up for Monopoly, we'll do Halloween calendar. And this is by Tiny Modernist. That's what it's going to look like when it's done. I can tell you right now, the one I am not looking forward to is day number 15. Because of all that block stitching right there. I'm not looking forward to that, but that's all right. And I am doing this with the called for DMC 2/2 full cross on a 28 count Lugana in the color Dusk by Live and Die LA. And I think I'm going to hold it back first and then bring it in because the color really like kind of grays out when it's, well, no, I'll hold it up close because I think my picture is up close. So for this piece here, there we go. For this piece here, I needed to do 600 stitches. So I finished day number 20 and I got a good start on day 21. There is some back stitching on day 20 that I just noticed I need to do. Yeah, there's some back stitching on day 20. There's not a lot of back stitching in this piece, but I do need to do some. So I'll have to go back and do that. But it's that's a little better. It's very purpley with the color. That's a little better. Kind of goes gray when you bring it up close. So yeah. So day 20 is almost done, just not quite. I got all the cross stitching on it done though. Okay, what else did I do? Where is it? I kind of just like pulled all these whips out that I had worked on and piled them up on my couch here. So I didn't really put them in any kind of order. Next one for Monopoly stitching is the Stitcher's Paradise Sal. This was out of the World of Cross Stitching magazine for, I want to say 2024. I am currently up in this block right here. And it was designed by Doreen Jones. I am using the called for DMC 2/2 full cross on a 28 count white opalescent. I think it's a 28 count white opalescent, I don't know, even weave of some sort. And for this, I only needed 100 stitches, so I was not able to get the block done. I got this all, the cross stitching in this completed, and I got started on finishing off the little border that goes around it. So all that's left for this block is finishing this border around it and then finish the back stitching, and then I can move on to the next one. Let me see, 1, 2, 3, okay. Final, where is it? The final, there it is, Monopoly whip I did is Christmas Reindeer. This was a kit by MP Studia. It's a, I want to say it's a Russian company. And that is what it's going to look like when it's done. I'm using the called for thread, and I think this is a 16 count, I think it's a 16 count white Aida. And for this piece, I needed 600 stitches. So I have the antler almost filled in completely. This part down here, I did screw something up when I was working on it. Oh my God, what, a couple years ago now? I did screw something up with one of these colors. So I kind of like went up this way and I'm coming back down, and I'm just kind of like either stitching over it or just like kind of working around it. So there's a screw up in here somewhere, but I'm not about to pull the thread out. I'm just working around it. I just had to work from up here down so I could figure it out. But yeah, 600 stitches on this. Really like how that's turning out so far. I think it's going to look even better once the back stitching is in. I think it's going to look even better. I really like this. Okay, let's see. So I did all the Monopoly stitching. Let's do my temperature whips. So first one is going to be somewhere. Here we go. First one up is going to be Bless This Nest. This is an old kit from Bucilla, and that's what it's going to look like when it's done. It's designed by Andrea Takiera. I don't know how to say her name. This is for the numbers 0 and 5. And this week I needed to do 100 stitches. Technically, I did more than 100. I did 134 because, here we go. I got all of the back stitching done down here. From like the top line isn't back stitched across because of this part right here not being stitched, but all of the back stitching from the birds down is done finally. You can't really see a lot of the back stitching in the feather over here on the side. It's hard to see in person too. I feel like it was a little unnecessary personally. But it's whatever, it's fine. So next time this comes out, I will get started on this section up here. So that's cool. I think I might even just work on like this section over here, try to get this done. But yeah. So I did 134 stitches because I was like, I'm not leaving this back stitching for another week. I just want to get this part done. And then I don't have to worry about it anymore. Okay. And then for the numbers 1 and 6 with my temperatures is Magnificent Wizard. And this is a Dimensions Gold Collection kit. Artwork is by Don Mates. And this is what it's going to look like when it's done. I'm using, oh, that other one, I'm using all the kit stuff. It's like a 14 count white Aida. This one is an 18 count black Aida. And this week I needed 100 stitches on it. And this is where I'm at with it right now. I am currently trying to fix whatever I screwed up as I was coming up this way. So I kind of have been working on the head. And then I started working on the sky because I was getting tired of doing like 3 stitches and then stopping and then 3 stitches and then stopping. So I moved up here to where the sky is so I could just like get some stitches done just to get the 100 stitches in. But yeah, I got to figure out where what part this is screwed up at. So I'm just kind of like frogging as I'm getting closer to it. And then I'll figure it out. Could be that this whole section is screwed up. I have no idea. But yeah. So I got my 100 stitches on that. All right, and then the next whip of shame for my temperature whips was Aurora Cabin. This is another Dimensions Gold collection, designed by Kim Norland. And that is what it's going to look like when it's done. And I needed 200 stitches on this. It's going to look like more because I did a lot of, I think all the stitches I did were half cross. And I'm using whatever came in the kit. It's like a 16 count light blue Aida, I think. I don't feel like pulling the cover photo out to look at it again. So this, I needed 200 stitches. And, well, there we go. That's where I got to. I'll pull it back in a second, but that's where I got to. I decided to go ahead and work all the way up to the corner, which I think I might have done that. I think I did that last time. So I worked on filling this in and started working down this way. And this is getting into the lights that are starting to come through. That's everything I have done so far. There we go. So I've hit both corners on the right side. Looks really good so far. I've seen it finished on Facebook and it looks really, really nice. So, so I'll be happy to get this when this gets done. Okay. The next one for temperatures, that was for temperatures 2 and 7. Next one's for temperatures 3 and 8 is Frederick. And this is a kit from Creative Accents. It's designed by Charles Wysocki. This is still available under the Dimensions brand, I believe. And I'm using everything that came in the kit. It's a 14 count black Aida. And this week I needed to do 100 stitches. And that is what I got done. Worked mostly in this book right here. And then I started, and I just had a few stitches left. And so I just grabbed one of the bottom shelf colors and started working it in. I need to finish that one up there too. But yeah. So that's where that one is. And then the final temperature whip is for the temperatures 4 and 9. And this is In Her Garden. This is another Dimensions Gold Collection piece designed by Sandra Cuck. And that is what it's going to look like when it's done. What do you think the most boring part of this is? The most boring thing you could stitch would be right up here, right? And that's where I am right now. It is probably the most boring thing that I could possibly be stitching on. Because even though I'm changing colors, to me it still looks the same. I'm doing this on a 16 count ivory Aida, and this week I needed 200 stitches on it, and it's really more like 400 because it's all half cross. So Yep, just been working on the most boring section you possibly could work on that piece. So, yeah, but you know, it's got to get done. So I figured while I'm working on this thing in small little chunks like this, I may as well work on the most boring part, not the fun stuff. So that's all of the temperature whips. I don't have my tablet, hang on. Okay, so now we're moving on to like my regular weekly stuff. So first up is going to be Calendar Girls October. This is from the Little House Needleworks Calendar Girls series from 2014. And I'm using all the called for DMC 2/2 full cross on a 32 count Legacy Lugana from Picture This Plus. And I did 292 stitches to make it a finish. So she is all done. Isn't she cute? So she will be off to my mother to turn her into a finish. Super cute. Very happy about that. All right. What am I doing? Next up is going to be Hide Rules. This is from Primrose Cottage Stitches. This art designed by Lindsay Waite. And that is what it's going to look like when it's done. This is pulled off of my one of my previous plans where I had big goals for stuff. I'm just kind of like pulling one at a time until I get their goals done. So my overall goal for the year was to get 4,000 stitches on it. I didn't get to work a lot this week on it, but keep forgetting what I'm trying to say. I'm doing this with the call for DMC 2/2 full cross on a 28 count white Jobelin. And I only got 244 stitches on it. All up in here. I wanted to do more, but then when I was realizing like what day of the week it was when I was working on it and all that, I was like, oh, I have other stuff I need to get done before I put more stitches in. Put more stitches in on this. So, but yeah, 244 stitches. This is everything I've done on it so far. I have the pattern for the 4th of July rules from them that I think will fit on the other half of this. I have Christmas rules started, and I have autumn rules in my to be started pile. So, all right, let's see, what is going to be next? Next up is going to be portals. This is from Pain Free Crafts. This is one of her newest releases. Artwork is by Rose Kahn. I started this, what was it, last week? She did have to make a correction to the full chart because Pattern Keeper had combined 2 of the colors. I checked. The colors that had to be corrected were not colors I had stitched, so I wasn't worried about it. But this is, again, 6 portals, the full version by Rose Catherine Kahn. It is 1206 by 800. It was charted by Pain Free Crafts, and that is what it's going to look like when it's done. And this week, I wanted to get more stitches on it, but again, time. But I'm doing this with the Call for DMC 1/1 full cross on a 32 count, easy count Lugana. And I worked in portal number 1 this week. So I figure until what I decided to do was that every time I worked on it, I would, like every week that I was able to actually work on it, I'm going to rotate through the 6 portals. And then next year, I'm going to have, like portal 1 will be January and February, portal 2 will be March and April, and so on and so on. So in portal 1, I was able to do 300 stitches. And somehow I had uploaded the corrected piece into Pattern Keeper. And once I got my stitches done, I went through and marked off all the stitches that I had completed throughout the 6 portals so I could work all the way across. And somehow I added an extra stitch. I'm not sure where, but it doesn't matter. I'll figure it out later. So I now have a total of 1,107 stitches completed out of 964,800, and I am at 0.11%. So if you missed it last week, I started in the upper left-hand corner, and I just worked scattered stitches across the top. So there's portal 1. Portal 2 is about right there, I think. Here's portal 3, 4, 5, and 6. That way I can rotate. Oh my goodness. That way I can rotate through all of them. So the next time I get to work on this, I will work on portal number 2. Okay, and then the next piece is my new start. So my new start this week was afternoon tea. This is charted by, hang on. Pattern Keeper froze on me for a minute. Okay. Afternoon tea, this is charted by Heaven and Earth Designs. Artworks by Randall Spangler. It is 381 by 487. It has 89 colors. And this is what it's going to look like when it's done. This one is for my younger son, my 12-year-old. When I did the Heaven and Earth Sal last year, I completed it. And as the prize, you got to pick out 2 charts. That was your reward for finishing the piece. Like, you got all the pieces that were made available in the Sal, and you got to pick out 2. So I let each of my kids pick one out. And so he picked out this one. Out of all the pieces available on the Hayes site. Granted, I only let them choose from artists that I liked. So I wouldn't have to stitch on something I hated. But this is my start on it. Wait, is this the right? Yeah. This is my start on it. Not much. I only did 300 stitches. So I now have 300 stitches completed out of 184,805. I am at 0.16%. And I'm doing it 1/1 full cross on a 32 count easy count Lugana. I have plans for my kids' projects too next year. Not sure. I kind of have an idea of everything that I want to do. I'm just not sure how I'm going to be able to do it all. So I'll probably do what I do every year, and I'll start off with these big dramatic plans and then fail miserably and not do all of them. All right, final whip is my focus piece for the year. This is Honeymoon Sunset, charted by the Cross Stitch Studio. Artwork is by Abraham Hunter. It is $8.69 by $6.49. It has 133 colors. That is what it's going to look like when it's done. I want to get this to 50% by the end of the year. So my goal every month is to increase it by 1%. My goal this month for the month of August was to get it to 46%, and I did. So I'm doing it 2/1 half cross on a 25 count, easy count Lugana. I'm just going to show where I worked. Just going to show where I worked. Started a new diagonal, 2 diagonals. And I did 1,100 stitches on this. I am now sitting at 259,782 stitches completed out of 563,981. I am at 46.06%. So I hit my goal. What's super awesome is the next set of diagonals for me will really, like, it'll be like right here or something, is really going to be the bottom of the piece kind of, because all this is all filled in. So this will be the last one where I'm like working along this edge, if that makes sense. Like once this is done, I'll come down here, I'll do this diagonal, and then after that, it's going to be like all up in here and working along the bottom. But yeah, 1,100 stitches. So that's cool. I'm happy I hit my goal for the month of August. I wasn't sure if I was going to get it before I had to film, but I got it. Got it done. Okay. Let's go ahead and update boards before we go to Monopoly. 1 second. Where's my marker? Here it is. Okay. So since I got to finish, let's update this board. My 2025 finishes. So finish number 12 for the year. Is Calendar Girls October. That's exciting. 12 finishes this year. That's fabulous. Okay. All right, so we'll update my temperature board first, since that's the one that's sitting right here. Okay. Got all the lights reflecting. Okay, so bless this nest. I had 600 stitches. I did another 100. I'm not counting. I did 134, but I'm not counting that 34. 600. I did another 100, right? Right? Isn't that what I did? Yeah. So this is going up to 700. And my goal is dropping from 1,400 down to 1,300. And then Magnificent Wizard, I did another 100. So this is increasing from 500 to 600. And my goal is dropping from 1,500 down to 1,400. Aurora Cabin, I did 200, so this is increasing from 300 to 500. And my goal is dropping from 1,700 down to 1,500. Frederick, I did 100, so this is increasing from 200 to 300. And my goal is dropping from 1,800 down to 1,700. And the last one in her garden, I had 600. I added another 200. So this is increasing to 800. And my goal is dropping from 1,400 down to 1,200. Okay, next up will be my hot mess list here. Hot mess list. Yeah. Okay. I'm not going to explain all of it, but Calendar Girls October, I had 1,216 stitches. I added another 292. So this is going up to 1,508. And my goal was to finish it. So this is now done. Hive rules. I had this number is going to be a little janky because I did an odd number of stitches than what I normally do. Hive rules. I had 2,500. I did 244 stitches. So this is increasing to 2,744. And my goal is dropping from 1,500 down to 1,256. So that's gonna stay out on my in my like kind of active whips bag until that goal is done, and then I'm gonna replace it with one of these on here. As you can see, I did not. This was my original plan, was to do 2 whips from each category, and yeah, that I gotta stop doing that because that obviously does not work for me. Even though I like the idea, but it does not work for me. Okay, and then down here at the bottom, Honeymoon Sunset, since my whip parade, I had 46,771 stitches. I'm adding 1,100. So this is increasing to 47,871. And my goal is dropping from 23,309 down to 22,209. And my percent complete is increasing from 45.87% to 46 point, what is it? 0.06%. So my goal for the month of September will be to get it to 47%. I didn't work on catching race, so we're just gonna kind of be done with this board. All right, and then the final board to update is going to be Monopoly. Okay, so what did I work on? The Christmas reindeer, I had 1,700. I did 600 stitches on it, so this is increasing to 2,300. And my goal is dropping from 2,300 down to 1,700. And then the next one I worked on was Halloween calendar. I had 600. I did another 600. So this is increasing to 1,200. And my goal is dropping from 3,400 down to 2,800. And then Stitcher's Paradise Style, I did 100 stitches on it, so this is going from 1,000 to 1,100. And my goal is dropping from 3,000 down to 2,900. Mother Nature Christmas right here, I had 1,600. I did another 200, so this is increasing to 1,800. And my goal is dropping from 2,400 down to 2,200. And then as you can see, I added, I don't know if you can see it, but I added Dreaming of Autumn Leaves as my new piece for Go, free parking, and the taxes. There was still 2,600 stitches left for its goal, so that is the goal that I have written on there. Okay, was that all of them? Yeah, okay. All right, so what we're gonna do now is we are going to break over to the Monopoly board so we can get a new round going. Be right back. Okay, so we are now at round 22 of Monopoly. Depending on how much stitching has to be done, this will go over either 2 weeks or 3 weeks because of my life. So just a quick recap. The cat is down here on Vermont. The dog is up where you can't see him on Atlantic Avenue, way up there. The duck is over here on Pennsylvania, and the penguin is over here on St. James Place. So we're gonna start down here with the cat. Got my dice that Andrew the runner stitcher cross stitched for me. Let's get started. 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Virginia Avenue. Hang on. Where's my paper with, oh, there it is. Okay, Virginia Avenue is owned by the Penguin, so we will be doing 300 stitches in rent for the Penguin. Okay, and then let's move this down so we can see the dog. 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Community chest. What'd we get? Oh my God. Spend the day with your stitching buddy. 200 stitches on the Vermont property. All right. Looks like Christmas reindeer is going to be getting some more work. Okay. Hang on. Community chest on side 4. 200 on Vermont. Okay. All right, so that'll go over there for now. All right, now we are going to move on to the duck, who is over here on Pennsylvania. So I'm going to slide this down a little bit. He's right there. 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we passed Go. So we're going to do 200 stitches on Go. And then we landed on Mediterranean, which is owned by the Penguin. And because the Penguin has a monopoly and all these other properties, the rent is going to be 400 for that one. All right. That's good. That piece needs some work. Okay. And then we're going to slide the board back up because the Penguin is over here on St. James. So let's slide it up right about there. 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. B&O Railroad. You see that? Barely. B&O Railroad. No doubles this week. B&O Railroad is owned by the Penguin, so it's just going to get 100 stitches because he owns it. Okay, so just to recap, the cat, no doubles this week, so we'll just spread this out over 2 weeks because, like I said, I'm losing a day of stitching because of football season. So The cat landed on Virginia. It's going to pay rent for 300 stitches on the Virginia property, which is purple, or side 2, depending on if you are playing along at home. The dog landed on community chest on side 4, and the card was to do 200 stitches on Vermont, which is the light blue property on side 1. The duck passed go, so we're going to do 200 stitches on the go property, and it landed on Mediterranean Avenue, which is the brown property on side 1, and that is owned by the penguin, and it has a monopoly on it, so the rent is going to be 400 stitches. And then the penguin landed on B&O Railroad, and it owns it, and that's on side 3. It owns it, so it is going to do 100 stitches. So I will gather that stuff together, and we'll come back and talk about plans. Okay, so let's go over the plans for the upcoming week. All right, let's do Monopoly plans first. So the cat landed on Virginia. Here it is. The cat landed on Virginia and has to do 300 stitches. My purple pieces, my purple properties, I work on the sewing desk. This is charted by Heaven and Earth Designs. Artworks by Amy Stewart. I will go over details of all the pieces when I show them as I work on them. Like, what I will tell you is if they're in Powder Keeper like this one is, what my starting point is. So for this one, I'm going to show you where I'm going to work, and then I'll pull it back to show you what I have worked on, like before. Because this one's kind of was started in the middle. Okay, so this is where I'm going to be working. I am starting off with 11,095 stitches completed out of 196,875. I am at 5.64%. I don't know if I'm going to, I think I might keep working in this set of 2 diagonals, I think. Like, I was thinking about just kind of working them all, like, kind of down. I don't know what I'm going to do yet. But this is everything I've done so far. So this one is going to get 300 stitches on it. And I think I will do this over 2 weeks just because, like, it's not a lot of stitching, but considering that I am missing a day of stitching because of my son's football season, where I essentially don't really get to stitch on Fridays because of his games. We'll just spread this out over 2 weeks. Okay, so then the dog landed on community chest on side 4 and has to do 200 stitches on the Vermont property, which is the light blue, which is Christmas reindeer. I'll go ahead and show it, even though I just did when I showed my whips. This one here. And just a reminder, this is my starting point with it. So I will continue filling this in and working my way down. This one will be getting 200 stitches. It's like fuzz floating around and it keeps like landing on my face. It's driving me crazy. Okay, the next one, the duck passed go. And that one is my new replacement which is somewhere. Here it is. My new go piece is Dreaming of Autumn Leaves by Rosewood Manor, and that is what it's going to look like when it's done. And this is my starting point with it. I will probably continue working in this section here. This will get 200. I'll probably continue working on this so I can get this motif here done. And then look and see if there, what else I need to do in this area, unless it's a big thing that goes down, and then I'll just kind of bypass it while I keep working across this top section here. So this will get 200 stitches. Yeah, there's like another color or something that goes in there too. And then it landed on Mediterranean Avenue, which is Spring in the Village. Ah! Oh my God. This is charted by Stony Creek Collection. And that is what it's going to look like when it's done. And what is happening? Oh no! There we go. I had a thread caught in the zipper. Oh. This is my starting point with it, and this one this week is going to be getting 400 stitches, so that's cool. I honestly don't know, because the idea was that I wanted to get across to the end. Oh my God. I wanted to get over to the end and then kind of start filling it in like I was doing with my Winter in the Village piece. So I may or may not start over here and like kind of start working my way across. I'm not sure. I might do just that so that I can get closer to the edge. I think last time I just stayed in that one building because it wasn't a lot of stitching that had to be done. But since it's 400 stitches, that's a good amount, and I might be able to like get closer to the edge with that. Okay. B&O Railroad. Penguin landed on B&O Railroad. So my railroad pieces is Mother Nature Christmas, which I just showed you. This one here. But since the Penguin owns that railroad, it only needs 100 stitches. All right, so that's my Monopoly stitching. So let me get rid of this thing. Oh, just put it right there. Okay, so temperatures. Starting with tomorrow, the 31st, the temperatures, the projected highs are going to, this is going to be tomorrow, so Sunday through Saturday. The projected highs are 89, 90, 86, 88, 86, 89, 88. So we're cooling down. That's a good thing. Which means that Bless This Nest Bless This Nest, this one is going to get 100 stitches. I think I might work in that this section right here. I think that's what I might start doing, is move on to that part. So that'll get 100. Magnificent Wizard. Magnificent Wizard is going to get 200. Get back in there. Frederick. Frederick is going to get 200. And in her garden, we'll get another 200 of boring ass background. BAB, boring ass background. Okay, so those are all the temperature whips. What else do I want to work on? I want to work on Honeymoon Sunset. And keep working my way up this 2 diagonal set here. I'm not sure how much I'm going to get done. As you can see, it's a lot of confetti because it's in the flowers. So not sure how much I'm going to get done, like how far it's going to go, but I want to get at least 1,000 stitches on it. Maybe more. If I could get more, that would be great. Let's see. Catching Rays. I did not work on it this week, so let me go ahead and show all the goodies. So I am working on this. This was a Monopoly piece. It's been replaced because it hit its goal of 4,000. I am working on it for Andrew the Runner Stitcher's Whip into Shape Challenge. This piece right here, his Whip into Shape Challenge. I'm going to tag him down below. But it is almost over. It is wrapping up. He has to move. So he is not going to be able to do the marathon that he wanted to do in Sydney. Super disappointing for him. Like, I'm not disappointed in him. I'm disappointed for him because I know how much he was looking forward to doing that. But we're still proceeding and trucking along with the challenge. And, well, I'm not apparently because I haven't worked on this in 2 weeks. But I'm going to get it caught up because, you know, I always do. In the end, most of the time, I'm able to get done what needs to get done. So that's where I'm at with it right now. I have no idea how far I am behind. This is all from Monopoly. This is all like this. And then everything in here is all from Andrew's challenge. So I am currently sitting at 34,185 stitches completed out of 1,080,000. I am at 3.17%. Andrew had commented, I hadn't responded yet, but Andrew had commented that I should use this for the gridiron grind challenge that Kim is doing with football, and use my son's team as the scores. I've thought seriously about doing that. Just to give it a little something once this challenge is over. So I might do that. So I might have to catch up. So we'll talk about that in a minute, though. Let me tell you about what else I want to do. All right, so portals. Did I say my percent on Catching Rays is 3.17%? I think I did. Okay, so portals, this piece here, I worked in the first one this past week. If I can get to it this week, I will start working in the second portal. Like I said, just kind of rotate through them week by week until we hit next year, where I will go through them. So the second one, I got to double check, but I believe it is this section right here. So if I can get to it, that's where I'm going to be working. What else do I want to do? I want to keep going on hive rules. This one here, I still need like 1,200 stitches, I think, to get the goal done. My original goal for this was 4,000 stitches. Yeah, 1,256 stitches to complete the goal. So I would like to keep going on this one this week. I'm not going to replace October Girl with another finished piece right now because of everything else I have going on. So that one's not going to get replaced. My alphabet stitching, I do not, every time I'm like, yeah, I want to work on this piece. It's a Marshmallow World. Something happens and I just can't get to it. But it's a Marshmallow World. For those who do not know, I got this from Jake, the 310 Stitcher, where you pick a whip for every letter of the alphabet. I've got like over 200 whips, so I definitely have all of that. And you do, I think she's doing 1,000, but I figured I would just do 500 so I could get through the alphabet faster. And I seem to have come to a complete and total halt when I got to the I. But if I can get to it this week, I'm going to put in 500 stitches on it. I've had a few suggestions for the letter X because I don't have any whips that start with the letter X. I've had a few suggestions. One person has suggested, which I'm kind of liking this idea, one person has suggested that I do an X-Files where I have all of my spooky whips in that one. So that could be fun. That could be fun. Yeah, so I might do that. I think I have a whip. Do I have a whip? No, I don't think I have a whip selected for that one. I might have a whip selected for you. I'm not sure. Anyway, another person has suggested that I do maybe one of the alphabet pieces because it has an X. I might do that for the letter Z because I don't have anything starting with a Z. I have a project picked for Z right now that has a letter Z in the title, but I might change it out and have like the Christmas ABC, Ocean ABC, Baby ABC, have those whips in there because they have a Z in them. So I might do that. Okay, and then the last one I want to talk about is my new start that I would like to get done. This is from the one that my older son picked out from the Haid Sal Rewards. From artwork is by Jacek Yurka. I don't know what that word is. Is it bathyscaphe, bathyscape? I have no idea. But this is what it's going to look like. So I want to get started on this one. So this would be a new start. I was like pulling the fabric out, and I'm like, I don't need to show you. There's nothing on it. So I've been trying to figure out, so I'm done showing whips. So if that's all you're here for, well, I'm done showing whips that I want to work on this week. I'm just going to kind of babble for a little bit right now. So if you don't want to hear it, then deuces. But yeah, I've been trying to figure out my plans for next year. I mean, we're only in August, so I got a lot of thinking to do still. Because there's so much that I want to do, but I know I'm limited with my time. So like, I know, so these are not set in stone or anything, but I know that I want to keep going with the temperature whips, with the whips of shame, right? I want to keep out Honeymoon Sunset, because I want to get that done in like 5 years or so. Or it might be 4 years, actually. I don't know. I think I said I wanted to get it done by 2030. Which will be 4 years. It's 5 years right now, but it'll be 4 years when my new plans start in January. But I need to keep Honeymoon Sunset out. I want to keep Catching Rays out, because that one has over 1 million stitches on it. It's got 1,080,000 stitches, so I want to keep that out so I can kind of keep making progress before I lose my eyesight too bad to work on it. Which is also why I want to keep out the 6 portals, because that one is my second biggest whip, and it's got 964,000 and change stitches. So I want to keep that one out, but of course then I have other whips that are really ginormous too. So I have that one I want to keep out, and I want to rotate through that one. I don't know if I want to work on one portal for 2 months straight and then move to the next one for 2 months straight, or if I want to rotate through one every month. And then I get to work on, like, say portal 1, I'll work on it in like January and then again in June, and maybe do it. I don't know that part yet. But I know I want to work on one portal for a total of 2 months. Each portal for a total of 2 months. I just don't know if I'm going to do them consecutively or what's the word? You know the word. I don't know if I want to do it consecutively or where I rotate through one each month and then go back and start over. So there's that. And then I don't know if I want to keep going with Monopoly or not next year. I'm not sure. If I do, I will probably keep it to kind of how I'm doing it right now, but maybe, I don't know if I would up the stitch count, where like a purchase would be like maybe 500 stitches from the get-go. Maybe the rent will be higher. Like keep the whips how I have it right now, where it's like one whip for each color set of properties. Or if I'm just going to like halt Monopoly altogether, I'm not sure yet. I also have, you know, all the other whips that I have that I would like to work on. So it's like, should I what I was also thinking about doing was, because I like the alphabet idea that Jade had, where it's like, so I was thinking about continuing with the alphabet, and like if I work on, like, I think my A was Autumn Favorites. My first alphabet was Autumn Favorites, and for the letter A. And so when it comes back around to A again, I would not work on Autumn Favorites. I would work on a different letter. And if there was one that I really wanted to get more work on, maybe I could keep it out as like part of the weekly thing until I get maybe an additional 1,000 stitches on it, but keep moving forward with the alphabet, if that makes sense. Like if I get to letter I, I'm like, oh, it's a marshmallow world. I do my 500 and I'm like, I want to do more work on this. So I would set it aside. I would keep moving forward with the alphabet, but I would have it set aside and it would go into the weekly list of the temperatures and all the focus pieces I have. And I would do another 1,000 stitches on it, however long that takes me, and then it would get put up. So I think if I kind of keep it like that, maybe that would kind of keep my plans a little bit more open to where if I wanted to add something to it, like the gridiron, like I'm not a big sports ball person. Not really a big sports ball person, but you know, it's like the gridiron grind thing is kind of cool to do with my kids' football team. I don't really watch sports. I don't sport. I really don't. Like, I will watch it if somebody wants to. If someone comes over and like, hey, I want to watch it. Well, nobody ever comes over, but if someone comes over and they're like, hey, I want to watch the football game, I will watch it. And I will watch the Super Bowl every year. I definitely watch the Super Bowl every year, but that's really the only game that I want to watch. So it's like if I kind of keep my plans a little bit loose regarding all my other whips, then maybe I can like throw in challenges like that, or like, you know, a lot of people have been doing challenges with the bicycle races, the Tour de France, and I don't know, the other two that happen over the summer. I've seen a lot of people doing those challenges. And so I was like, oh, that would be neat. I could do that. But like right now I can't because I got so much other stuff going on. But it's like, maybe I could do that. The Great British Bake Off. Jessie Marie did a game for that. And so it's like when that starts up, I want to do that. I just don't know if I'm going to be able to do it this year or if I'm going to have to kind of do it kind of post season and do it next year with the Great British Bake Off. I'm not sure. And there was something else I wanted to mention. Oh, I had thought about doing WhipGo next year. Oh my God. I thought about doing WhipGo next year that Jessie Marie hosts. But I would have to keep the stitch counts kind of low, I think. It depends on everything that I got going on. It depends on, like, once what I need to do is sit down and write down the definitive things that I want to do, and then see how much stitching that's going to require every week, and then see if I'm going to be able to work in the extras that I'd like to do. Because if they're not going to be able to be worked in, then I just won't be able to do them. So lots of thinking and pondering. I'll put out a plans video later, like late fall, early winter, once I figure out what I want to do or what I'll be able to do. Because I do want to try to not pare my whips down. I want to pare my plans down a little bit so that I'm more open for challenges or stitch alongs or something that kind of like crop up throughout the year, to where I don't feel like I have to stop doing one set of plans in order to do this new set of plans, if that makes sense. So yeah, we'll see what ends up happening. But yeah, all those whips I showed you, that's what I want to work on this week. Yeah, let's see, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, not Friday, Saturday. So 6 days to do all those whips. But like I said, Monopoly is going to go over 2 weeks. And we'll just see what I can get done. So if you have any questions, go ahead and leave them in the comments section down below. And if you're in I think this is a US holiday. I'm terrible. Labor Day is coming up on Monday, so if you are in the U.S., I hope you have a safe Labor Day. Don't get drunk and crash into a tree or anything like that. Please, if you choose to have a big old barbecue and drink, please stay safe and have a designated driver. And I think that's about it. So any questions, leave them in the comment section down below. If you like what you had to see and you're not already subscribed, then go ahead and hit the subscribe button down below and the bell to be notified whenever I post a new video. And I think that's about it. So take care, stay safe, happy stitching, get a lot of stitches in, and I will see you in the next video. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.